Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ served.
Welcome to Partners in Ministry. My name is Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Ray Chobanian. Ray is the owner and founder of Prestige Digital Marketing. Ray handles the production and graphic design for all of our videos. In this interview, we're going to discuss video, why video is king in online content, what makes good video content, and some basics on how to create captivating video to grow your nonprofit brand or business. Well, welcome, Ray, and thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Dan, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
The use of video in online content has really grown to become a very, very big thing. Why is that?
Well, to sum it up pretty simply, without getting super technical, is because, the saying that pictures say 1,000 words and video is nothing but a series of pictures really quick. So a video says 1,000,000 words, 1,000,000,000 words, and so you can convey a large amount of information in a very short amount of time to people and to your audience.
Sure. I've noticed that when I first started getting into the whole social media thing about 10 years ago, you kind of had non-online communications, online communications, and they were kind of separate type of things. But I've noticed more and more there's less use of non-online communication and more of online. And I would imagine that since the social media platforms are all going towards and moving towards video, that really has a big impact as well, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely, Dan. Yes. I'll give you a couple statistics to kind of paint the picture of this and why video is so important. And first, I'd like to say that if you're not already spending a large amount of your marketing dollars on video, like 80%, then it's probably time to rethink your marketing strategy. So on YouTube, and we'll talk about a couple of different social channels, but YouTube, because that's all video, there's 5 billion with a B videos that are watched every single day on YouTube across the world. That's a large audience. And 16% of that is shared or embedded on another social media platform or a website or somewhere on the internet, an email. And a third of all the people on the internet, which is over 1 billion users, are YouTube users. So that's pretty amazing. So that means the average person is roughly watching 5 videos a day. And so let's jump to Facebook, because there's 100 million hours of video every day played on Facebook. So that could be a YouTube video as well. But 100 million hours every day within a 24-hour period on viewed on Facebook. I mean, that's crazy. Wow. Yes. And so 45% of people watch an hour or more of video content on Facebook or YouTube every week. So weekly, that's kind of like statistics. So 82% of users watch video on Twitter. So that's a pretty large, that's even bigger than the YouTube or Facebook. And then video versus like images and text gets 1,200% more shares generated on social media platforms. So that's 12 times more, that's pretty significant. So video is the way to go. Yep.
Yeah. Obviously you see it a lot as far as business is concerned, but is this same importance of integrating video with what you're doing as a nonprofit in your fundraising and other communications just as important as it is for a business?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anyone that has a message or a product or a service to get out there, it's as equally as important. As long as you believe that your message or product and service is important, then yes. And even I think most people have a website or a landing page now, and there is this online site called HubSpot. that wrote an article that says that landing pages that have video on it get 80% more conversions on average.
Mm.
So if you have a nonprofit, having a video when you first come on the page that explains a little bit about the culture or what it is that you do and gives people like a real-time feel for the company, the nonprofits, and kind of grabs the emotion, that gives people a lot, because just landing on a page with some text and graphics, um, people might not even read it all, but if you have a video that just pops up, they're gonna hear it either way, and it's gonna sink into them. So um, there's a lot more we could talk about on all that, but just a few different tips. And also, here's a little tip which I'm sure we'll get more into, but a lot of people utilize the sub, like the closed captions, the subtitles. So it's actually a pretty staggering statistic that 85% of Facebook videos are watched without sound, which I
Mm.
thought was pretty interesting, because you would think it might be the other way. Maybe 15% were watched without sound, but a lot of people might be at work or through their day and they can't, or in a place where they can't have the sound up or have headphones in. And so, yeah, having the subtitles, and even beyond that, if you have a video that someone is hearing and reading, you have two channels of senses, now where the information is going into, and it sticks better. So,
Sure.
and then you also have like a deaf audience,
Mm.
um, or a blind audience, so you got to kind of think of both of those things. So people really don't think about that, but there's a large portion of the audience out there that has some kind of impairment. There could be color blindness. That's another thing to think of, when doing design work and video. Um, Sometimes with video, it's it's definitely more challenging to make it like colorblind proof, but if you have graphics on your video or logos, you want to think about that kind of stuff as well.
Sure. So what are some things that basic things you'd want to make sure that you include in a video? And then on the other side of it, what are some pitfalls that you want to make sure that you avoid when it comes to making video, good content?
Yeah. So, okay. So I would say the first thing you want to understand is that you've got about 3 seconds to capture someone's attention. Let's say you create an ad on Facebook, a video ad, and someone's scrolling through their feed. They come up on it. They're going to stop for a moment, but it's a very short window, and people make the decision really quickly if they care or not. So within that first 3 seconds, you need to hook them. That's what we call it in the marketing world, is the hook. So one mistake, though, one pitfall is, I've seen a lot of people where they start, "Hello, my name's Ray Chobanian. I'm the owner and founder of Prestige Digital Marketing." You've already wasted your 3 to 5 seconds. The person has already scrolled. They don't care what like your name is and your company and all that. What people really care about is, what can this offer me, or what can it do for me? How is it going to benefit me in my life? Is it something I'm interested in? So knowing your audience, and this is like any company, whether you create video content or not, I hope you do, but you need to know your audience, right? Or who you're delivering your product or service to. So that's huge. So when you know the audience and how they think, the things they're into, what they do, what they like, their hopes, their dreams, their fears. I mean, really get to know. Now you understand how to talk to those people, and so now that you can talk to them, you know how to inspire them, what their challenges are. So I would say another big tip is to inspire. Um, share stories. Like with nonprofits, I'm sure there's a lot of stories out there of great triumphs or good things that the nonprofit has helped a family or an individual overcome. Maybe that's housing. Maybe that's paying their bills. The list goes on. Maybe it's giving them housing, an emergency place to stay, whatever that is. It's good to highlight those things because it hits the emotion. Um, and along with that, another pitfall is people having way too long videos because it can be
Mm.
challenging to get your point across in 30 seconds or a minute. It can be challenging. So usually is what we would do is record um, like hours. It could be hours of video, and then take the best points and kind of build a story from the whole. Now I realize not everybody has the ability to clip and edit videos and all that, but that's why we're here. We help people to do that.
Sure.
So it's good to know that shorter videos convert higher. If you can get it across in 30 to 60 seconds, I mean, that's ideal. Like I said, 3 seconds is like the time you have to really hook somebody, get them interested. So their attention's already short. So to have like an 8-minute video, uh, initially for someone to see, is not going to be as effective. So now as they go through your funnel, or come to know you better, then later on, they'll get interested in more of your content. And that could be after the first video for some people, but some people need to see things, a few times
Sure.
in short bursts, and then they might get interested. It could be a year or two later. I mean, I know for me, I've had that happen where I've seen some content, really wasn't that interested, and then a couple years later, I started to watch some things that interested me. So yeah, that's like a big thing. Another thing, I'll just go through a couple more really important things, is along with the engaging video itself, you also want good audio. A lot of people don't think about that at all. Here, I'll even see a lot of ads that have like this massive echo in them. Like they have this nice 4K video, high resolution, but the audio is just like horrible. So you want them to match. If you have a good video, you should have good audio.
Mm.
So again, not everybody knows how or has the means to edit audio to make it sound good. We do that as well in our videos. It's part of just a normal standard part of the process. And recording good audio is always better than having to try to edit bad audio. So, which is a whole nother subject. But
Sure.
so then, now that you kind of have some tips on the video, you want it to inspire, you want to know who your audience is, you want it to catch them in the first 3 seconds. Forget about your name and what you do. You can say that later, or your company or your title. That stuff, just leave it for later, or maybe not even at all in some cases. And just get right to the point of their pain point. You're really looking for a pain point a lot of times. Like if you have a nonprofit that helps families pay their bills, for example, your audience is probably people that are struggling to pay their bills. So what are some of their pain points?
Mm.
Worrying if they're going to have heat, worrying if they're going to have water, worrying if they're going to have electricity, food. And so you might start out your video, and this is just off the top of my head, like um, if you live in America and you struggle to pay your bills, you're worried about putting food on the table for your family every month, not sure how you're going to keep the lights on. Our nonprofit helps individuals like that to pay their bills. Just off the top of my head, there's a better way to word it, but that's the general kind of idea behind it. You go
Sure.
right for the pain point. And so now someone's scrolling through and they hear that you got 3 seconds, and that's about 3 seconds. So that's going to catch their ear. They're going to keep watching. Instead of saying, "Hi, my name's Ray Chobanian, I'm with Prestige." You're already past them.
Sure.
So this story needs to be engaging, and I think that's the best way to look at it. Is any kind of video content, you're telling some kind of story. So if you learn or have the gift naturally to tell engaging stories, that's good. That's really going to help. Because I like to think about how I act online and the content I watch, because uh, humans' nature is the same. It's just their behavior that varies. That's why you have different audiences that are interested in different things, but their nature is the same. So I think like, okay, when I'm going through social media, what is it that triggers me, or what is it that catches my attention? What is it that interests me and why? Oh, and I'll look and see what they did, or maybe they like added a pause in there or built up something suspenseful and made you wait, or they'll say, I got to show you something really cool, but first I want you to know this. And then 30 seconds later, they're showing you, they like keep you hanging, you know? So there's a lot of little things to engage people that you can do. And in the same sense, you can also be really boring. So I would say if you're not sure if you're boring or not, ask someone or ask us. You know, we talk to people all the time and help people to, you know, get their content going better, um, tell a more engaging story, give them tips, and along with that, a little past the video now, you have to put it somewhere, like I said earlier, and so where you put it, you want to plan. Like I said, YouTube and Facebook are really good for that, and TikTok is huge right now. I'd say focus on the shorts on YouTube, Facebook Reels, and um, the third one, which I just said. Sorry, it slipped my TikTok. TikTok, yeah, that's a huge platform. So um, then you got to put a title to it. So you want the title, and this is actually really important. It's not just there for someone to see. It serves many purposes. So when we get into more marketing terms like SEO, search engine optimization, when someone goes on Google and types something in, um, whatever pops up first has the most relevance to what you put in, or maybe viewed the most. There's reasons the results come up first. And one of them for videos, because YouTube is a big search engine, just like Google. I mean, they're one and the same, really. Um, if there's like a trending topic in your industry right now, try to make it match your video match that, and the title match that. So people that might be searching for help with bills, you know, maybe that's the title of your video, help with bills. And keep them to around 50 characters, I would say. You don't want really long titles, because on a lot of devices, which the majority of people watch videos on devices, you only get so much room. You might see it on a desktop monitor, but on a device you only see about 50 characters depending on the device or the tablet.
Sure.
So yeah, and then also your description of it. You want to have a description. Another good tip is in Facebook Reels. The algorithm seems to punish you for putting links in the description of your Facebook Reels. So I would say don't do that. That's more of an attraction. You want to get people to engage. You could try to put it in the comments. I'm not sure. I don't think that affects it, but I could be wrong. Because they're constantly changing these algorithms and how they work. So yeah, and then the last thing probably I would say is once you get some engagement, you want to engage back with people. Someone leaves a comment, you know, I respond to every single person right now. Now, if you have like millions of viewers, that might be very challenging. But I respond to everybody. I say something. I thank them for their feedback, whether it's something positive or negative. You know, it's like, well, thank you for your feedback, and or I'll leave a thought. You know, just comment back. But that's the social media part, which a lot of people, we've talked about it before. A lot of people kind of forget that.
Sure.
So yeah, and you don't want your efforts to go to waste. So you want to have a plan. Maybe you do a video series that tells a story over several short videos. This is a really good technique, actually, because if it's engaging and interesting on the first one and the second one, people want to know the whole story. You know, you get to a point and you stop. It's just like a good movie you watch, maybe, and you get to the end and like it just ends, like one of the Batman movies or something. And you're like, man, what happens next? And then you got to wait, you know, months or a year for the next one to come out. And this way it's a little bit quicker, but it's the same idea, you know? So you can put part one in it, part two, follow for part two, you know, and there's a lot of little tricks. We could probably talk all day on it. And you know, I've even seen some videos that weren't super good quality get tons of views. But I think, you know, so like if it's good enough, you can grow an audience without spending tens of thousands of dollars on video production, you know. And I've seen $5,000 videos that are 60 seconds long get very little you know, views and success and engagement. So um, I don't think it's a problem with the quality at that point. I think it's something with the video. So I think it's good to kind of start getting used to it. If you want to start doing this on your own, and just start where you're at with what you got with your phone, you know, and make some videos. Put something out there, and you might not get a ton of engagement at first, but you'll get some engagement. Maybe you get 30 likes on one post and 5 on another. Well, you know, the one that got 30, you take a look at and say, okay, what did we do here that was good? Or maybe you got a couple thousand views on it and 20 comments and 50 likes. You're like, okay, so people are resonating with this. What did I do here? What was it? Read the comments. They're letting you in their head. You know, they're literally typing out what they're thinking. So you got to just take a look and be observant and realize that every interaction is valuable data to you to help you improve what you're doing.
Sure.
That's easily overlooked, I think. You know, not people aren't thinking of that daily, I don't believe. So yeah, those are some tips. You don't want your efforts to go to waste, so you want to have a plan, which you could lay out a story. That's one plan, or a marketing campaign for your service or product. And the other thing that is maybe the biggest downfall or the biggest pit that you want to avoid is your consistency. So many people are like revved up and doing social media, but maybe they only post 3 times a week, you know. The guys that I know that are like you know, 7-figure, you know, agencies and businesses, some of them post like honestly 20 to 80 times a day. It's
Ooh,
ridiculous. So there is a direct correlation with output and input, what you put out and what you get back from doing like tons of posts every day. You know, so again, not everybody has the time to post 20 times a day, but we've seen really, I mean, amazing results with doing that. So it's like if you're trying to grow, maybe you should rethink again how you're doing things and shift your focus, put some more time into that area, or hire an agency like Prestige Digital Marketing to do that stuff for you, you know, and kind of have it on autopilot for the most part, you know. With when it comes to us working with individuals and businesses, it's usually a team effort, because if we're going to do social media for someone, we have to understand them on a deep level, what they're doing, their mission, their values, their purpose, their message, their audience, so that if we're doing it, we can actually sound like them, you know, and people don't know that it's someone else doing it. So it's usually a team effort, or we'll collaborate. Maybe the company will have some ideas, or for example, maybe it's like some of the people I work with are coaches, personal development coaches, and they have events. So we'll help them promote events. We'll help them build a brand that is around the kind of coach that they are and the people that they want to coach, what that specific audience is interested in and into. So you know that it's a shared labor in that case, but there are instances where that's not as much, where you don't have to work like as closely if it's something more general, but that's rare, I think, in my opinion, at least with the clients I work with. So maybe someone else might disagree,
sure.
but yeah, I would say consistency, Dan. That's the big. If there's one thing to take from like the pitfalls, is consistency. Because even if your videos stink, and you've tried, you know, 50 videos, 100 videos, and you're still not getting much engagement, you've still learned a lot, and you can improve a little bit on something every time. And take a look at the ones people engaged with, whether that's likes or views. They're not going to keep getting more views if people aren't watching them. So like the algorithm will put it in front of somebody's face, and you can see a view count. And so you'll see when those view counts start to stop. And then, okay, that didn't really, I got 500 views, that's okay, but we can do better. And maybe another video got 100 views and it's kind of dead. Well, I would take a look at the 500 view one and see what you did there that was better than the 100 view one, and try to improve that a little bit. And then over time, you get the hang of it. And for each different audience and message, and then you kind of, you get in the flow. And general rule of marketing is the more somebody sees it, the higher of a chance that they're going to engage with it or buy or come for you for that service or help. That's
Sure.
that's much the rule. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like there's a real broad spectrum in terms of where to get started, where you want to go to, and a bunch of things in between. I'm guessing that being able to find somebody like yourself that can just, first of all, give you a good idea where you are right now, coach you to that next step, teach you how to evaluate what you're doing, whether it's what's working, what isn't, and then the next best step and the next best step, rather than trying to chew off everything all at one time. Rather having somebody that can guide you in little baby steps along the way. Is that true?
Yeah, that's definitely 100% accurate, Dan. Yeah. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. What's that?
It could be pretty overwhelming when you think about the volume of stuff that you gave us today. I just want to make sure the audience knows that you don't have to do all those things at one time.
Right.
The important thing is do video, get it out there, make it a regular part of your DNA and what you do, and then find somebody like Prestige or somebody that can coach you on what your next best step is going to be. One to make the long-term commitment to it, because it's not going away.
No, I don't think it's going to go away at all, really. I mean, until the world ends, but but yeah, I think it's here to stay.
Right.
But that's
Right.
a great point to make, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, Reg,
No,
thank you so much for joining me today, and you've given us really a lot to think about. Really appreciate it.
oh, it's been my pleasure, Dan. Thank you. I hope it helps somebody, and I'm always open to talk to people that want to know more.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, if you've got any questions or if you'd like to learn more about how Prestige Digital Marketing could help you with the video that you would like to produce for your nonprofit or branding, you can see Ray's contact information here on the screen, or you can find it in the show notes of this episode on our website, or you can find it in the description of this YouTube video. So again, thank you, Ray, and thank you for joining us today. And until next time, let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.